Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd. How you doing, brothers? You okay? Okay. So, inshallah, today's discussion is a very important one. It's on seeking protection from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from evil. It's on seeking protection from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from evil, okay? From all sorts of evil. And specifically, the context in which we're discussing right now is what? Running into problems when you're walking down the street, okay? Some people, they have problems with someone. They have enemies that they've made. So, some of you have made certain enemies. So you're walking around and you're worried because you're looking over your shoulder constantly. Who's walking behind me? Who's coming up behind me? You're not comfortable. You don't feel safe. Some of us, we don't feel safe in our own areas. We don't feel safe on our own blocks because what? Anytime, any moment, something can happen. And the saddest one is when you're not even involved in any problems. You're not even involved in the streets, but then you get caught up in something. Someone pulls up to you with a knife, they rob you, they take something from you. Anything and everything can happen nowadays. How do you seek protection from yourself? What's even worse is that you're a person who used to be involved in that life. You made tawbah, you left, you changed, you started practicing. But what happens? People from your previous life keep pulling you back. They keep coming up to you, showing themselves to you. And this is a problem because how do you now protect yourself when you're in this situation? How do you do it? And we've seen that a lot of the youngsters, what did they do? They went towards trying to seek that protection themselves. Holding a knife, holding a gun, getting whatever weapon it is that they can get their hand on. But we've seen how this cycle, it transpires. Because if you carry a knife, if you carry a weapon, if you get caught with that weapon, what's going to happen? You're going to go to jail. If you don't get caught with it, and you use it to defend yourself, what's going to happen? You're still going to go to jail. Because self-defense, the way that it works in this country is a bit of a joke. It's a bit of a joke, you know, the way that self-defense works. If you do anything even more than what the person done to you, it's not considered self-defense anymore. Does that make sense? So, if you attack someone, you're going to go jail. If you don't attack someone but you get caught with it, you're going to go jail. If you're not carrying nothing, you're going to end up dead. So what do you do? What do you do? It's a rat race. It's just a trap. It's a trap that you found yourself in. So how do you find the way out? Brothers, and if there's any sisters that are listening, I'm going to mention to you a hadith. Inshallah ta'ala, this hadith is your way out. This hadith is your protection. This hadith will show you how you can protect and preserve yourself, not just from problems in the streets, but you can protect yourself from evil. Any enemy, whoever it might be. It's even how to protect your wealth. It's even how to protect your health. It's even how to protect your family. This hadith will show you how to protect everything in your life, inshallah ta'ala. Even your children's children will be protected if you follow this hadith. It's a very simple hadith. It's such a powerful hadith that Imam al-Nawawi, he placed it in his 40 hadith book. It's such a powerful hadith that Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali, he wrote a big book, just one book explaining this one hadith. And I'm not even going to go through the whole hadith with you. I'm just going to go through one line of the hadith. Just one line. But the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ihfadillah yahfadk." The Prophet said, if you do what Allah told you to do, if you fulfill the commands that Allah gave you, if you carry through and follow through what Allah Azza wa Jal wanted you to do, in response, the Prophet said, Yahfadhk, Allah is going to protect you. Allah is going to preserve you. Allah is going to safeguard you. Allah is not going to let anything touch you. It's as simple as that. Literally, you do what Allah told you to do. In return, Allah will not let harm touch you. In return, Allah will keep you safe. In return, Allah will keep you grounded. In return, Allah Azza wa Jal will protect you. And you don't need to do anything, carry any weapon, nothing, none of that. You just need to obey Allah Azza wa Jal. And we're going to talk about obeying Allah in a second, but I want to stay on the issue of protection. I want to give you some examples of how Allah Azza wa Jal, He says that He will protect you. In Surah Ra'd, Allah Azza wa Jal, He said in ayah number 11, that we will send down angels in front of them. And we will send down angels behind them. For what? To protect you. To preserve you. And this is something that Allah had done for the Prophet ﷺ in the Battle of Badr. When the Battle of Badr came, it was only 311 approximately Muslims. And there was 900 plus kuffar. The Muslims only had 2 horses. Al-Miqdad was on a horse and Zubayr was on a horse. Apart from that, they had no other horses. The other army, they had 100 plus horses. They had big soldiers trained for war, weapons, armor. The Muslims had none of that. But when the Prophet ﷺ was about to go into battle, what did he do? Allah sent down 1,000 angels. 1,000 angels to fight alongside the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah, He did that. Some of the Sahaba were about to strike one of the disbelievers in the battle, and suddenly they would see, Salaam alaikum, suddenly they would see the person drop dead in front of them. They would say, who did that? It was an angel. See, I was about to strike him. Suddenly I heard a noise, and the guy's dead before I even hit him with my weapon. Because Allah sent the angels to handle the business for them. And this is how Allah Azza wa Jal is. It's what He does. But shall I tell you something powerful? After Allah said, I will send down angels in front of you, and I will send down angels behind you. What did Allah say? Allah said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Allah said, but you want that protection from Allah. You want Allah to protect you. You want Allah to safeguard you from all of your enemies. Allah said, okay, no problem. I'll send down angels front and back. But then He said something powerful. How do you get those angels? How do you get the protection from those angels? Why is it that you are running around with a weapon because you know and you realize I ain't got no angels protecting me? Allah said He will not change your situation. As in, He will not make you one who's protected. He will not give you a situation of good unless you change yourself. Fix yourself. You want Allah's angels? You need to start practicing properly. And that's exactly what the hadith said. احفظ يحفظك. You do what Allah told you to do. You safeguard the rights that Allah has. To worship Him alone, to pray your prayers, to protect your private parts, to protect your tongues, to do all of these things. In return, Allah said, يحفظك. I will protect you. Same way in this ayah, Allah said He will not change your situation. He's going to leave you in a state of fear. He's going to leave you in a state of difficulty and constantly looking over your shoulder and enemies around you until you change yourself. Fix yourself. Fix yourself with Allah, and Allah will fix you with the people. He'll send out angels before you, and He will send out angels behind you. Surah Ra'ad, ayah number 11. Look, we take another example. Imam Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali, when he was explaining this hadith, he says something powerful. He says, when you obey Allah and you do what Allah wants you to do, Allah will protect you through the things that you would expect to harm you in the first place. Let me repeat that. If you fulfill the things that Allah wants you to fulfill, the way that Allah will reward you is that He will bring protection and safety and security for you through the hands of the people and the things that you would expect to harm you in the first place. So in other words, your own enemies will be a means of protection for you. Allah will make them a source of protection for you. And again, Allah, He done this in the battle of Ahzab for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Brothers, sisters, the battle of Ahzab was such a battle that Allah, He never described any other battle in the Quran the way He described this. Allah talked about all of the armies that joined together to attack Medina, the Quraysh, Ghatafan, the tribes of the Jews, the neighboring tribes of Quraysh. They all came together, an army of 10,000 people, and they surrounded the small city of Medina. They surrounded the small city of Medina. So what do you do in this situation? What do you do? How do you get out? Imagine literally you're on a block and you've got a problem, maybe about 5-6 other areas, and they all just one day they just come and they surround your area. Imagine that. That's what and it was like that. It was so scary that the Prophet ﷺ, he took the women and children, he put them inside of a fortress, locked them away, just keep them safe. How did the Muslims get out of this situation? Allah, He brought a person from the army of one of those tribes. Suddenly at night he became Muslim. Suddenly at night he became Muslim. And he came to the Prophet ﷺ, he snuck away from the people who came to the Prophet ﷺ. He said, I have testified and bear witness that there is no one worthy to be worshipped in truth except Allah, and that you, O Muhammad, are the slave and the messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Prophet, like, everyone's like, whoa, where did this come from? He's an inside man from them, but he became Muslim today. And he said, because I become Muslim, is there anything that I can do to help you? And the story is going to become long. I don't want to go into the story too much, but to cut a long story short, what he did was that he went and basically he made the armies fight against each other. He made the Jews think that they were betraying, that he made the Quraysh think that the Jews were betraying them and vice versa and whatnot, because he was an inside man. And what did he do? He made them all confused. And eventually they all went away. Then some other things happened and then they all went away. They all left. They all ran back. So look at that. Allah will protect you through your own ops. Allah will protect you through your own enemies. Inside them, you'll find a man that will be there to protect you and save you. Not just that, animals. Allah will send animals to protect you. There was a young boy called Abu Safina, radiyallahu anhu. He was the Mawla of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was one of the young boys who would who would serve the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He would carry things on his back, things from all the Sahaba. So the Prophet named him Abu Safina. Safina is a ship. It carries things. So because he would carry all these things on his back, the Prophet called him Abu Safina, the one who carries things on his back. So check what happened. One day he was on a shipwreck. And قَدَّرَ اللَّهُ مَا شَاءَ فَعَلَ. The shipwreck, it ended up taking him where? To the shore of one country. And he's in a strange place, but he ends up in a jungle kind of area. So as he's there, he's trying to find his way around, get his bearings right, to get to a place of safety, some civilization, some people, so we can find out where am I so I can make it back home. Suddenly a lion comes to him. A hungry lion, an angry lion, vicious lion. He approaches him. This is easy meat for him. It's not even like a gazelle that can run away. He's literally going to walk up to the boy, he's going to bite his head off, and that's it. It's game over. That's lunch, dinner. But the young boy, he looked at the lion. He said, Ya Abul Harith. He said, Oh lion. He said, Oh lion, I am the Mawla of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you are going to harm me? You're trying to harm me, and I aid and serve the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Suddenly the lion realized, I am in front of someone that Allah Azza wa Jalla is protecting. The lion couldn't find it in himself except to respect him and to walk in front of him and guide him outside of the jungle to a path of safety. And when he got to a path of safety, the lion put his head down as if to say, I've left you here and I'm going now. True stories, brothers and sisters. I'll give you another incident. There was the great scholar and worshipper of Allah Azza wa Jalla. His name was Ibrahim ibn Adham. Ibrahim ibn Adham. And one day he fell asleep in the middle of the desert, and a venomous snake came to him. The snake came to him, and it started to watch and stand guard for him all night. It was watching guard. He's sleeping, he doesn't even know. The people tried to come close to Ibrahim ibn Adham, and suddenly the snake would get up, it would hiss, as if it was protecting its child or its eggs. Scorpions would come and attack them, not letting anyone get anywhere near close, letting Ibrahim ibn Adham sleep a sleep of peace and ease and bliss and tranquility. Got up in the morning, people are like, bro, what's this snake? Like, what's going on? What relationship do you and the snake have? Like, is this like your pet, or what's going on? He doesn't know. But Allah, He sent the snake to protect him. Look at that, brothers. I'm trying to make you understand that if you obey Allah and do what Allah wants you to do, Allahu Azza wa Jal will protect you through even the things that you expect to bring you harm. But now I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something that's going to shock you now. I'm going to tell you something that's going to shock you. If you don't obey Allah and you don't do what Allah wants you to do, forget Allah protecting you. Allah will bring you harm through the people that were supposed to protect you. Allah will bring you harm through the very people that was supposed to protect you in the first place. If you obey Allah, He will protect you through things that were supposed to harm you. But if you disobey Allah, He will bring you harm through the things that were supposed to protect you. This is when your friends turn their back on you. And you're like, bro, I've been there for you my whole life. Like, what happened, bro? Me and you, like, we was riding on the blocks together. Like, I've been there for you. You might have even done jail time for you. You might have done jail time for him. But then he stabs you in the back. He turns his back on you. Your own boys leave you. And that's happened to the majority of you. Am I lying? Am I lying? Majority of us have experienced that, right? That they were supposed to be our boys, they were supposed to be there for us. And what did he do? He was the one who started chatting to your girl. Or he started chatting to your sister behind your back. Or he started talking about you behind your back. Or worse, he got you involved in some situations. And then when the going got tough, he ran away. Your own boy will turn his back on you. Fudayl ibn Iyad rahimahullah ta'ala was an imam from the Salaf Salih. And he would come home some days, and when he would come home, he would notice that his wife is disobeying him. Or he'd notice that his animal, his donkey is disobeying him, or his children are disobeying him. And he would say to himself, whenever this happened, he would say, this only happened to me because of some sins that I've done. I did some sins, and because of the sins that I've done, now my family, my wife who's supposed to obey me, my wife who's supposed to show me love, my wife who's supposed to be there for me, is disobeying me. He understood this happened because of a sin that I did. So when your friends, they turn on you, and when they turn their back on you, and you find yourself in that sticky situation, brothers, you did that to yourself by the sins that you brought forth with your hands. If you obeyed Allah, Allah will make your enemies be there for you, but you turn your back on Allah, so Allah Azza wa Jalla will do what? Assalamu alaikum. Allah Azza wa Jalla will do what? He will make what? He will make the ones that are supposed to love you, who are supposed to be there for you, they'll be the very source and the very cause of your pain. Are you with me, brothers? Is that making sense to you all? Are you sure? You know, brothers, there are some du'as that you can make that will be an instant protection for you as well, inshallah. Have you ever heard of something called isti'adha? Put your hand up if you've heard of isti'adha. Isti'adha. Anyone know what isti'adha means? Ahmed, what does isti'adha mean? To seek protection from Allah. Isti'adha is when you say, A'udhu billah. You're saying, Allah, I'm asking you to protect me from this evil. Sometimes you say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitan ar-rajim. Allah, I seek refuge in you from shaitan, the accursed. Sometimes you say, A'udhu billahi minhum. Allah, I seek refuge and protection in you from them, those people over there. A'udhu billahi min dhalik. Allah, I seek refuge and protection in you from that evil, whatever it is. This is an act of worship that you and me, we need to start doing. The Prophet ﷺ gave us a very powerful dua. He said, Man nazala manzilan faqal. Anyone who comes to a place and then he says, A'udhu bi kalimatillahi tammati min sharri ma khalaq, which is a specific dua to seek refuge in Allah from the evil that is out there. The Prophet said, Lam yadurruhu shay hatta yartahila min manzili dhalika kama qal. The Prophet ﷺ said, nothing is going to harm you until you leave that place. Nothing is going to touch you. No one's even going to look at you funny. Nothing's going to harm you, inshallah. They might look at you, sorry, that was just from me. They might look at you, but no one's going to harm you until you leave that place. Wallahi, this is sahih. Can I tell you something? You know there's a dua that you read when you go into the car, right? There's a dua that you read when you go into the car. Because when you're driving, imagine you have a car crash. But you seek refuge and protect, you make the dua so you can, have the barakah from Allah Azza wa Jal and the protection from Allah Azza wa Jal. So I jumped into the Uber the other day. Actually, it wasn't Uber, it was Bolt. Do you guys know about Bolt? With have you seen the promo codes and the discounts right now? Just giving away money recently. If you don't have Bolt, download it, inshallah. I'll give you the coupon code. But Bolt, my Bolt driver picked me up and he's taking me to my destination, and I was on my phone and I was distracted by something on my phone. I was distracted. And usually when I get into the car, I read the dua straight away. I read the dua immediately. But this time I'm distracted on my phone and I said to myself, I'm going to read it in a second. As soon as I finish this, I'm going to read the dua. Because I delayed it and I forgot to even read it. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a car comes from the back, smashes into the back of the car. My neck, I felt it, everything. My neck was feeling stiff after. Wallahi, that came as a reminder. I forgot. The one time I forgot to read the dua, car accident. The one day. Another day, I forgot to read the dua, and you know what happened to me? Instagram deleted my Instagram account. That's a big thing for me because I had all my videos and the videos that I done that were on there, all got deleted. I had about 40,000 plus people who I'd advertised these events to and had that account for years. The one day, sounds like something small, but the one day I remember I was on a motorway, I was going to a brother's wedding and I didn't read it. I got caught up in the wedding, I was like, don't worry, I'll read it in a second. 2 hours went by, literally I looked at my phone, my Instagram account is gone. Every single time I forget to read my adhkar, something bad happens to me. Something bad happening to you every day. You think, where is this coming from? Imam al-Qurtubi rahimahullah ta'ala, one night he got stung by a scorpion. A scorpion came and he stung him. How did it happen to me? He said, I forgot to read the dua, a'udhu bi kalimatillahi tammati min sharri ma khalaq. Because you don't just read that dua when you come to a new place. You even read that dua every night. After Asr, you read that dua. There's another dua that you can read. Bismillahi alladhi lam yadurru shay'an. No, Bismillahi alladhi la yadurruhu ma'a ismihi shay'un fil ardi wa la fis sama' wa huwa as-sami'ul 'alim. The Prophet ﷺ said, if you read this 3 times at Fajr, nothing will harm you until evening. And when you read it at the evening time at Asr, the Prophet said, nothing will harm you until Fajr. 24-hour protection. But you don't read these things, my brothers. Now question, some of you are reading these things, but you're still not finding the protection. You know why? Because it's just on your tongue. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. You say a'udhu billah, it doesn't mean anything, it's just on your tongue. Brothers, sisters, for it to mean something, you have to be one who's obeying Allah. Remember the Prophet said, ihfadillah yahfadk. Obey Allah, obey Allah, obey Allah, He will protect you. Another ayah Allah said, in tansurullah yansurkum wa yuthabbit aqdamakum. If you give victory to Allah's religion, Allah will give victory to you and make your feet firm. Every time you see Allah saying, do this and I'll do this for you, do this and I'll do this for you. But brothers, you're not doing anything for Allah. You're not doing what you should be doing for Allah. So the take-home message, if you walk away from here today, is that you want to be protected, brothers, sisters, you need to start obeying Allah. And definitely carrying a knife, carrying a weapon with the intention to spill the blood of a person, when you haven't been authorized through Islamic governance to do so, is a major sin in our religion. So if you're carrying that weapon, the protection of Allah is very far from you. It shows that you actually trust in the knife more than you trust in Allah. You trust in the weapon more than you trust in Allah. That you don't believe that Allah says, when you do X, Y, Z for me, I'll send angels down for you. You don't believe that. Because if you truly did, then what do you need? You need a knife for? You don't need no knife. You don't need nothing. You don't need anything. It's just Allah that you have. And if you have Allah, what more do you need? Allah is with you. But do you believe Allah is with you? Maybe you don't believe that Allah is really with you. That's why you carry the knife. That's why you make sure that you move around with a group of people, with a bag of people. But if you truly believe that Allah Azza wa Jal is with you and He's there for you, then you won't need to carry these things or do these things. You won't need any of that. Also, you can't put yourself into stupid situations. For example, you want Allah to protect you, but you hang around on the blocks where you know people they might come and attack you. Or you hang around in a crowd of people that you shouldn't be hanging around with. These are all things that go against the protection of Allah. Because Allah doesn't want you to be in these places. He doesn't want you to hang around with these things. And I'll be honest with you, my brothers and sisters, I have nothing else to say to you after that. It's as simple as that. Obey Allah and He will protect you. But if you say to yourself, I'm going to still carry a knife, I'm going to still do this, I'm going to still do that, I'm going to have to ride out, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, whatever, handle my business, then no problem, kill someone, go to jail, and then go to hellfire in the next life. Or don't kill someone, get caught with a weapon and go to jail. Or live your life in a constant state of stress like that. Or give yourself to Allah. the King of Kings. The one who in a second will say, kun, fayakun, be and it is, and your enemies are destroyed. There was a young boy, I might do a whole mad thing in the message just on this one boy's story, just on this one story of this one young boy. He became a believer, and the people used to worship the king, and he stopped worshipping the king, and he believed in Allah Azza wa Jal. So the king sent his army to destroy the boy, to take the boy into the sea and to destroy him. So they took the boy into the sea, and Allah mentioned this incident in Surah Al-Buruj, as in the story of the boy and the people who were in the ditch who were burnt alive. They took him into the sea to throw him over, and you know what the boy said? He said, Allahumma kfinihim bima shi'ta. Allah, destroy these people the way that you want to destroy them. Allah destroyed the whole army for the boy. The whole army got destroyed. That's what Allah will do for you. But do you really believe? How can you believe? How can you say I believe but you do the opposite? How can you say I believe but you do the opposite, my brothers? How can you say I believe but you do the opposite, my brothers? And how many times has it been said to you? And how many times have you been reminded? But you keep going back to what it is. There's nothing else that's more to say. If you have any questions, I would just, to conclude, to summarize, to just drive the point back home one more time. Brothers, sisters, you want Allah Azza wa Jalla to protect you? Obey Him. Pray your salawat. Obey your parents. Safeguard your private parts. Stop sleeping around with girls. Brothers, stop having sexual intercourse. Are you animals? Someone is like, it's animalistic. This is the kuffar. The kuffar are the ones who Allah said they're like cattle. They eat whatever they want. They do whatever they want to do. وَالنَّارُ مَثْوًى لَهُمْ, Allah said, but because they do that, I'm going to place them in the hellfire. That's where they're going to stay. Just every day, like, some of us are like pigs. The pig goes and just sleeps with whoever he wants to sleep with. And then what it is, it lies in its own crap at the end of the night. Same way, you go, you get drunk, you sleep with whatever woman that you want, you wake up in the morning, you're waking up in your puke. Brothers, what is this? I'm saying protect your private parts, protect your tongues, and Allah will protect you. Protect your prayers, and Allah will protect you. Protect your parents, obey your parents, and Allah will protect you. Protect the circles of knowledge, brothers. Don't protect the masajid by being inside of the masjid, and Allah will protect you. And Allah will protect you. And the more you increase in protecting Allah Azza wa Jall's rights, the more Allah Azza wa Jal will increase in protecting you. It's as simple as that. You don't need to carry nothing, brothers. I'm being real, you don't need to carry nothing. Shall I tell you something? Even if you had the biggest rocket-propelled grenade, bazooka, Uzi, them Call of Duty guns, RPG, whatever, sniper scope, care package, all of that. If Allah wants to destroy you, Allah will destroy you. Allah said, يُدْرِكُمُ الْمَوْتِ, that death will reach you. وَلَوْ كُنْتُمْ فِي بُرُوجٍ مُشَيَّدَةٍ, even if you were in high towers, fortified, protected. Allah said, when He sends the angel of death your way, death will come to you. Death will come to you. Look at Pablo Escobar, man. Like, really, was there a gangster bigger than him that you've seen, that you've heard of? Was there a drug dealer bigger than him? Come on, bro. He had the army working for him, bro. He had the police force working. He had the government working for him, bro. Can you get better than that? I'm asking, you had the government working for him. But Allah still took him out of the game. Allah, when He wants to take you, He'll take you. But if Allah wants to protect you, the whole world can come after you. My brothers, no one's going to touch you, inshallah ta'ala. You're going to be good. You're going to be good. Like the Prophet ﷺ in the Battle of Ahzab, when all of those armies, all of those ops, all of those gangs, they came, Allah protected the Prophet ﷺ. When that young boy, the king, sent the whole army to destroy him, Allah protected that boy. Like the young Sahabi of the Prophet, the lion came, Allah protected him. Allah will protect you, Allah will aid you. But if you disobey Him, not only will Allah not protect you, but He will leave you to be destroyed by the things that you're supposed to be protected by. Your own people will turn their back on you. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. I have a question for you. From all of my videos online that you might have seen, which one has been the most life-changing one for you so far? Many people told me that it was the video when we gave da'wah outside the Shisha Cafe. And I'll leave you with this. The Prophet ﷺ said, a time will come when holding on to my religion, holding on to Islam, will become as difficult as holding on to charcoal. The charcoals that we smoke shisha with. The Prophet said, try and hold on to it. It burns you, let go of it. The Prophet ﷺ said, that's what my religion will become like. Is it not like that today? or maybe it was one of the other 1,000 plus videos that we have online. Whatever it was, I want to ask you a follow-up question, and that is, I want you to remember and recall what life was like before you saw that video, when you were distant from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, when you're thinking of that and remembering that, I want you to be aware that there are many brothers and sisters who are still living life like that. They still haven't seen that one video that's going to help change their life. They haven't seen that one reminder that's going to touch them and bring them out from the darkness of sins to the brightness and the light and the happiness of guidance. But that doesn't mean that there isn't hope for them. They just need to come in contact with that kind of content online. And that's why myself and my team are dedicating the next 3 months, inshallah ta'ala, to flooding the internet with as much content on Tawheed and Sunnah and reminders about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as possible. But the issue is that in order for us to reach those targets, we're limited in terms of the resources that we have. We need to hire more people in our media team. We need to also buy new equipment. Now look, I am going to ask you to support this financially, but I'm not going to ask you for crazy numbers. For us, we don't need that kind of money. We need little money because we have a team that really believes in this. And the proof is in the pudding. If you see what we've done over the last summer, subhanAllah, you can see that the work that gets done, that money goes where it deserves to be placed. So I'm going to ask you, inshallah ta'ala, please inshallah ta'ala, give it the link below and let's flood the internet with La ilaha illallah.